love that Conehead shirt. Well, I'm sitting here at my tiki bar, but I ain't seen the sun all day. There's a storm out there, but I don't care. Yeah, I've got Mike's weather page. There we go now. Okay. Mike's weather page. You know you were tracking every move it makes. You know it's Mike's weather page. You know you won't let us all get blown away. Is it just me or is there spinach in it? There's spaghetti models and empty rum bottles, and sometimes Louis says hi. Hey, Louis. But you don't get no hurries and don't have no worries, cause we're drunk donkey nationwide. Everybody now. Mike's weather page. You know he'll be tracking every move it makes. You know it's Mike's weather page. You know he won't let us all get blown away. Did I ever tell you the story of the drunk donkey? Once upon a time, there was this weather woman. You can come as a pilot, you stay kind of quiet, but you know you love watching Mike's page. So put your Conehead shirt on, watch it live on your phone, and drink drunk donkey beer all day. Here we go now. Mike's weather page. You know he'll be tracking every move it makes. You know it's Mike's weather page. You know he won't let us all get blown away. Is that Blobby Bobby? I think that's Juicy Jerry. Yeah, Mike, throw a party, man.
Bam! What's up, everybody? Good morning. Say hello to my Silverado, my one-eye Chevy. How's everybody doing? It's a new week. You gotta love it. I'm feeling a whole lot better. Sounds like a Hank Jr. song. Feeling better. Thought I was going to get sick for our big trip, but I feel a lot better. So that's good news. We're heading out tomorrow. So we got a live today, live tomorrow, a little break in the action. Our once-a-year getaway to Talladega NASCAR race. And I'd like to thank the Tropics for being quiet with a K. We never say quiet in the Tropics. We always say quiet with a K. Q-U-I-E-T. But there is some stuff to look at. Man, I was out there working on loading some stuff up, and it's hot already, man. Sweating. So sometimes Louis says hi. Did you hear that part of the song? That was our buddy Andy Simmons. Little bit about Andy Simmons. If you haven't noticed, I'm going to show you some pictures. But I drove through Perry, Florida this week on the way to Georgia. Emily had a softball tournament up there, and I toured up and down all the roads, and we'll talk about it. But Andy Simmons from Perry, writing hurricane songs, gets hit by a dahlia. Talk about irony. Never would have thought that, Andy, right? So anyway, all right, everybody. So we're going to say hi. It's our Daily Brew. I'm coming to you live from Oldsmar, Florida, close to Tampa Bay. We're going to talk about tropics. There are a few things out there people are going to be curious about. There's a little bit of hype out there for some long-range stuff. Nothing that I see anything yet to really talk about. So tropics are a little bit quiet as far as anybody getting affected. There are 3 things out there I'm going to show you here in a minute. Our Daily Brew brought to you, of course, by our good friends at ABC Fine Wine and Spirits. Might have saw the picture over the weekend. I loaded up a cart and then some. Not 100, not 200, not 300, but I think we might have had the all-time record, 400 and some. Julie wanted to make some shots this year, so I did green tea. Then they had that peanut butter and chocolate. Oh, saw that on the way out, so I had to go back and get it. Then I found out they got a cookie dough. So now I'm going back there one more time. supporting them because they support me, right? ABC, so we love them to death. But yeah, we'll be live next Tuesday. I'll be live tomorrow, then we're going to take a few days off. We'll be away. But I do have Starlink this year. I bought Starlink, so we'll be able to do anything pops up. I'll be able to do lives. I'll still be posting every day. You won't even notice I'm gone. It's just when we won't have our normal daily brew. Unless something pops up, then I'll be there for you, I promise. As always, good thing is we got internet now. We used to not have internet. Nothing worse than going to a NASCAR race when everybody's trying to log in watching Netflix. And there's only one little cell phone tower that's repeating the same signal to 100,000 people. So, doesn't matter how many cell phone towers you have, it's the signal that goes into them. And once all that bandwidth gets distributed, guess what? You get a little piece of the pie. And that little piece of the pie ain't good enough to even upload a picture sometimes. So what I had to do in the past is get up like at 5 in the morning and post stuff because that's the only time nobody's on the internet. Louie, go camping. All right, we'll say hi to some folks. If I cough now and then, I apologize. Sherry Brown, good morning. Good to see you again. Long-time follower. Katie Haley, long-time follower. Good morning from the Panhandle. Beautiful blue sky out there. Shelly and I are both getting over it. Good morning, Miss Shelly. Salted caramel, one of the best. Jennifer Shaw, you ain't kidding. Good morning, Ian Campbell. Jamaica, quiet down there. Good morning, Mr. Bill in Lauderdale. Sometimes Louie says hi. Sherry from Texas. You're going to get some rain in Texas. What part of Texas is Orange, Texas? Good morning, Bob Parrish. Good morning, John from the Villages. Know right where that's at. Party Central of the world for retirees, I hear. Might be where me and Julie need to end up, man. I heard that place gets rowdy. Louis, you might find some Frenchy friends there. What's up, Mr. Kenneth James? Charleston, Elisa. Good morning, Miss Elisa. Angry Orchard and Pineapple. A good breakfast, Michael. Got everybody's minds are in the gutters today. What's up, Dan from the Keys? Boy, it was stormy yesterday for you down there, Dan, right? Was it rainy all day yesterday? He's got another one coming. I can feel it. He's going to yawn here. Hey, our duet with OMG, it's Wix. Yep, Christine, he's a cool dude, man. He emailed Phil, actually. Phil thankfully saw the message, and we did a little collab. Even Emily said, oh, you did a collab. William Strunk, good morning. O-Town, Mr. James. Firewood weather. That's right, Heather. We're all getting wood. Louie might be right now, but I'm not going to look. What's up, Tony? So if anybody's going to Talladega, we'll be in Talladega Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Hope to come by and see us. We're going to have a big banner on the fence. You can't miss us. We're going to have our Daytona Furman car banner. So yeah, come by and see us, please, if you're in Talladega. Let everybody know. Anybody there at Talladega, come on by. We can do some ABC fun stuff together. I'm going to have some TBBC stuff too, by the way, to give away. Some Reef, their new Cloudy and Day Donkey, all kinds of donkey stuff. Oh, it's good times. Hey, real quick, then we're going to go right into weather. I always like to share stuff in the mail, so I got this out of the blue. Gaff That Moment. Check it out, Shelly. Check it out. So their followers are our page, but look what they made our doggies. So I had to share them. Look. They got their own little shirts. The official watchdog on Louie. Look at that. That awesome? And then we got one for little Hunter, too. Check this out. So thank you very much. I think it's awesome. Gaff That Moment. Check them out. Look them up. Support them. They make cool little custom products like that. Our P.O. box is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get. All right, here's the tropics map. Josh, you ready, buddy? Hope everybody's weekend was good, by the way. All right, so there's really nothing to worry about, believe it or not. We have Felipe, which is going to do this. We got 91, which I updated last night when I got home. There's spaghetti models on Invest 91 now. It's going to follow Felipe. I'm going to go whoop. This little guy's going to run into a ton of wind shear. This is leftover funnel line. It actually a piece of what the hell was that? What was the name of that storm we were tracking last week? Lee? I can't even remember now. M-N-O-P. Ophelia. Well, no? Yeah. What's Shelly, you're the name girl. It's all old news to me. Ophelia. Anyway, so the old frontal line. A little bit of energy, but there's a lot of wind shear in that Gulf of Mexico. So don't worry about number 10. I don't even see it on the map. So it's only 10%. That's good news, right? So we're nearing the end of September, right? What's up with that? Last year we had Ian brewing right now. Remember? Holy cow, we were all watching Ian. That was a year ago. Hard to believe. Yeah. All right, so there's that. Here is weather today. I wanted to bring up real quick just for Texas and Florida. In case you don't know, we're enjoying this fall-like weather, especially in Florida. But guess what? We got some strong storms today, possible in central parts, eastern parts of the peninsula. We're talking about big hail possible in Florida because we have some upper-level wind or upper-level low pressure energy that's going to be allowing some big supercells today. So keep your eye on the sky in Florida today. Could be some poppers down there in the peninsula to watch out for. And across Texas, we have a frontal line that's actually going to bring up some rain, especially here for eastern Texas. Could be some thunderstorms. So into Louisiana a little bit. So that's today's weather. But I know if Texas needs the rain, they want the rain. Here's the other big story. What is that? It's hard to see, right? Thanks for the P.O. box, Shelly. Whoo! Lee, that's right. Ophelia. Thanks, Kenneth. Yeah, I remember now. I just got confused. Happens a lot. I do. I'm getting better with names. God, years past, I used to totally forget everything. Well, if you know me, I'm terrible at people's names, too. I call the kids by Julie, and I mess Sarah's name up a lot. And Shelly, I called Sheila for like a year before she corrected me. When I first met Greg and Jason from Furman, I had their names backwards, and I called Greg Jason, and they made me feel the most awkward I've ever been in my life. They're like, "Oh, by the way, I'm Greg." Oh, anyway. This is rain. Whoa, right? Holy cow. See, this is what's cool about the weather. I'm sitting there like strolling on Twitter, and US 19 is a long ride, man. So here's the weirdness. So I got some pictures of Perry I'm going to show you, by the way, but we took the same road, obviously, that Idalia was on, up there in the Big Bend Panhandle area of Florida. Yesterday we were we went to Thomasville, Georgia yesterday to play softball, and I went through Monticello. I love the roundabout around the city hall there in Monticello. Such a great little city. But I saw somebody posted a rain map for the week, and I'm like, what? Well, look at this. This is rainfall through Sunday. Now, whether or not it verifies or not, but man, it has been consistent. This is rainfall through the week, through the weekend. Everybody could potentially get several inches here, at least in the peninsula. I mean, we're talking close to double digits possibly for the East Coast, and some of this might linger into Monday of next week. So this is a lingering front that's just going to hang around. We call them linguine fronts since we always keep the pasta theme here at Mike's Weather page. But look at that, man. 4 inches across pretty much the whole peninsula. This is through the week. Most of it starts up a little bit later. Not so much today, tomorrow, but looks like more later in the week, and unfortunately maybe part of the weekend. So keep an eye on that radar, or the rate, your forecast if you got plans, because it could get quite juicy this week. That's one of the big storylines coming, and you can always verify this. First thing I always do now, surface charts. I used to not even care about them, and now I really look at them a lot. But here's that frontal line today, starting to push its way down. There's another one coming down. It's going to push it. So let's go to Wednesday, and there it is. Actually, we can go to this map here. I like this one here. This is I got to go to 00Z. For some reason, it never updates anymore on 12Z. But, here's day 3. Oh, yeah, there's the frontal line. There it is. This is where it starts. This is Wednesday, Thursday. So, heavy rains late Wednesday and definitely Thursday. And then Friday, it just hangs out. And Saturday and Sunday. So, lots of rain coming. That green is rain. Green is rain. 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 A little bit of rain. So, yeah, that includes Bahamas a little bit too. So, unfortunately, if you're cruising or anything, the heaviest definitely starts Wednesday, but then really gets going on Thursday. This is Thursday. So, keep an eye on that. That's just the frontal line that lingers. Doesn't want to move. High pressure to the north. Going to keep our weather nice in Talladega, selfishly. I'm excited about that. Maybe 50s at night. Still mid-80s during the day, though. But I've been to Talladega when it's cold. It is not fun, especially when you're thin-blooded like me. So, not too bad, actually. I'm only showing highs in the 80s. I like it. I love it. I want some more of it. All right, there's that. I'm trying to keep everything going here with like a theme. All right, so here, let me show you this now. I went to Perry yesterday. Perry was basically landfall of Idalia. I was pretty surprised, to tell you the truth, the amount of damage that I saw, honestly. Because it was several weeks ago. And they were working on a Sunday. So much work was being done on a Sunday. I saw buildings, people on roofs, tree removal. Oh my God, I must have seen 20, 30 debris removal trucks in action. So there's their water tower. They're working on a side street there, power truck, working on something there in a big old debris pile. Here's the main road, post office, just debris piles everywhere. Now, if you haven't lived through a hurricane, this is what happens after a month, 6 months, a year after sometimes. You got debris, you got blown out signs, you got damages, you got just the signs of the storm, or they just don't go away, and especially up there, the trees. My God, there's so many trees up there that were cut and big, 2 foot, 3 foot diameter trees, cut up, waiting to be picked up. Signs of debris still, like this is one building that's a big tarp. All the, so many blue tarps, which people know. So, a lot of people forget, the hurricane effects last years. Ian still, a year later, still devastating down there, right? I mean, it takes forever. Michael's, took years to even get halfway, right? So, I just wanted everybody to know I went, through Perry and drove up and down. I did a little Facebook Live and kind of just showed everybody, we had a couple relief operations set up there and some churches. But this is what you see. Now, before I started doing this post-storm stuff with the storms, I didn't even know what these trucks were. I mean, now I know what they are. But this is a sign of a hurricane in your hometown when you see these show up. And they're everywhere. These are debris trucks. They have little cranes on them. And they go and they have to go dump them. Then they have to come back. FEMA trailers were set up. I mean, it's just a big surreal moment, of reality. So I feel for you up there in Perry. I know it's a little town. For some reason, little towns don't get the love of big towns when they get hit. But they're working hard. No discredit. Hey, they're working hard. I think the most amazing thing was they were working so hard. Every street, I saw some sort of work being done. Just to think, that's probably went on every day since the storm, and they're still, making a slow dent. It just doesn't happen. It's just so much. So we don't want another storm. All right, so let's talk about tropics, and then we're going to talk about long-range stuff. I thought this was a little interesting to bring up today, since we're almost into October. Yeah, Jake. So I drove through Lake Charles. Me and Phil did when we went to Chase Delta. I think we drove through Lake Charles. I don't remember, but while we were there, we were there for some reason. I don't know. Maybe we were there on New Year's. I think we went up there for New Year's, but there was supposed to be a tornado outbreak. Julie's like, "Yeah, you're on New Year's." Yeah, that's what it was. We went to New Orleans, I think, and on New Year's. And Julie's like, "Yeah, New Year's. There wasn't a storm. It was a bust." She didn't believe me that there was a real forecast for tornadoes. I had miles to use up, and we were bored. So I'm like, let's go to New Orleans. Well, anyway, 6 months after Laura, we went to Lake Charles. Oh, my God. And it was like it just happened overnight. Like, it was terrible. Like, people still, trailers and generators and storage units. And yeah, it's just, until you see it, you don't realize it. Trust me. Everybody gets this little anxiety, like, when a storm's come in. You can't say it's excitement, but until you've dealt with one. I was there once when I was a kid. I used to think, oh, cool, hurricane. Like, it's going to be a party. Well, maybe the little ones, but these big ones, trust me, you don't want one. You ask anybody that's had to deal with hurricanes how much it changes your life after that nobody can even explain unless it happens to you. All right. So, number one thing I read on the internet this time of year, season's over, season's a bust, what a joke, season's awful, everything's curving, blah, 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 Each his own. But, so this little map I put it together, and this is all the hurricanes we've had in the last 50 years. I put 50 years, but most of these have all been recent, since last 20 years, really. These are all the hurricanes we've had since 73 to 22, 50 years. And there's 16 hurricanes that have hit continental U.S. in the last 50 years. So, October, November storms sometimes can be, ones to watch. So don't get caught up in that thinking the season's over because, the Caribbean water is so hot and the Gulf is record hot still. So we do have some wind shear, of course, with El Nino, but we'll see. We also had that during Michael. But anyway, this is an interesting site. So what you can do with this site here, which I took out, these are major hurricanes in the months of October and November. And look, these are pretty recent. Ian, last year. Actually, it landed October 1st. It dealt with, so Ian's still on the map because it technically was in the Carolinas. Late September. Zeta, 2020, October 24th to October 30th. These are major hurricanes. Michael was October 6th to 15th. Wilma, 15th to the October 26th, late season. And then Opal was early October. These are major hurricanes. So it's a neat little tool. You can click things around. Category 1s, we've had 14. Well, actually, it includes all of them. The only thing I like about this graphic, so I really can't just separate Category 1. But 16 storms. Bottom line is a lot of them get going here in the Caribbean and the Gulf. So just wanted to point that out. I thought that was a cool little graphic to share this morning. We look at things like this. So, everybody online's shifting their focus to the Caribbean. That's just what happens this time of year. But this is the map that you look at. This is your ocean heat content, and it's extremely warm. That's how Lee intensified. It wasn't even over red. It was actually not even over this intense red. So the hotter the water is below the surface is a big source of energy for storms. And this is why October, November is still very, very, very much in play. Because any old frontal line that gets stuck, which we're kind of seeing now, but there's a lot of wind shear, luckily. Any old wave that just kind of drifts over here, any old energy that pops over the Pacific, anything that ends up in this area right here, it could be an old front, it could be an old wave, it could be a little bit of low that gets pulled up from Central America. Then what happens this time of year? We get fronts. Everybody's asking, why is everything curving in the Atlantic? Great question, because normally in the peak season months, we have a strong high pressure system out here. We don't get cold fronts. So this high pressure builds, they call it a high pressure heat dome. everything goes around it, and that's why typically in the season, this is the track most things take. But this time of year, when these fronts start coming out, it breaks down to high pressure. Anytime the high pressure is weak, systems follow that high pressure, and they actually get attracted to these fronts. Another thing, too, since we've already had systems out here, we have Felipe curving. That's going to, break up the high. That's why 91 is going to probably follow in the tracks. We've had a lot of this happen this year. It seems like active years, we get less systems making their way across because the Atlantic is basically not very strong ridge. Excuse me. And we get these fronts coming down. So, everything gets pushed off, and anything down here usually gets pulled up and turns away. But back to this area, these fronts now have the ability to pick up our systems and turn them out ahead of it. And if you look back at history, look at this. Almost all of them have been picked up, and eventually curve on the effects of a cold front, usually. So all these, looking back at Wilma, Michael, Zeta, Ian here, they get picked up by a cold front and they usually turn. So this, this is the area, these are your last 5 majors, and they all pretty much came through the Caribbean here. So this is why we watch this area right here. And we've seen late season systems. I mean, look at everybody remembers Wilma. Wilma was October storm. It got picked up, and cold front picked it up, and it turned it. So a little bit of tidbit. Figured I'd roll that in there. Just a little extreme weather. Yeah, 1921. Yeah, we've actually had. So yes, before 69. I think I had this on my slides. Let me bring this up since we're kind of doing a theme here with this. Let me see if I can find my docs here. There it is right here. There. So this was a graphic from Klystron 9, Bay News 9, but it shows you that 4 hurricanes before 1969. So that graphic I showed was the last 50 years. This was 4 hurricanes that passed 21, 44, 46, and 68. They all started down here in October, all 4 of these, and they all turned towards west central Florida. In fact, there was another one that cleared out John's Pass. This was in 1848. I don't think any of y'all are around then, maybe. Maybe my mom. Ah! She doesn't watch me. Now let me see if she messages me now. Let's listen for the ding. Let's see if she's messages me now. If she's watching, then she's gonna message me. But she's not watching because she never watches me. Even my own mom doesn't like me. This is an interesting one, though. One in October of or late September, actually. It was a Category 4. And it cleared out John's Pass, and that was their best track guess, late September. A little tidbit, interesting, right? I used to not care about history. I think it's fascinating now to look back at history. Getting old, right? Getting old. Oh, I love Mama Boylan, Katie Haley. She's my #1 fan. I don't know what I'm going to do without Mama. I'll be happy, though. I had a good life with her. No regrets. We just had a good dinner. My dad wants to go to Cody's when we get back from. So Susan Proper from Rome. That's awesome. How's Rome? Morning, Beth. Vicky, family homes and Michael. That's too bad. Don't talk about Michael. Okay. Monk's Corner, David Allen, Guy. Almost thought you were a country music singer. Hey, Eric. What's up, buddy? Razor. Think they got a shot at the Orioles, man? Be close. Hope so. April, yeah, we talked about that little 10%. Nothing to worry about. It's nothing. Nothing. All right, so let's look at all the models. The Bucks are on tonight. Yep, our goal is to pack up hard today. Stacy from Virgin Islands, what's up? No, Joe, no, they don't allow drones. They actually check you out for drones. I don't want them to confiscate it. I probably shouldn't fly it after what I just bought at ABC, by the way. Dolphins are looking good, Jeff. My dad was talking about the Dolphins, right? 1972, was it? They were undefeated back then. What's up, Cindy Roan? Hey, our Miss Cruiser. How's things doing at Sharkies? %100% chance skeleton, Josh. Yep. All right, so let's just talk about it real quick. Everything in the tropics doesn't look too worrisome. Let's go to tropical tidbits. I want to show you ensembles. Remember, we're not live Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, or Monday. We're going to be in Talladega. We'll go live tomorrow just to say goodbye to everybody for a week. This is so odd to not have to have anything stressing us out right now in the tropics, right? I love it. All right, so we're going to look at areas. Here's the Euro. Basically, we're watching this. This is Felipe. This is 91. There was some signs of a low pressure here hanging off the coast that kind of might go that way, kind of an old front. And the GFS was popping up some energy here, but man, it's too inconsistent to even really go talking about it. The Euro's shown a little bit in the Gulf in 10 days, but nothing solid. But let me show you what was going on. All right, so Felipe kind of fizzles it out on the latest run, actually. Here's 91, curving right before the islands. So the Euro's fizzling out. Felipe, 91, kind of curves it. Now, it is popping up an old frontal line right here in midweek next week. So we have been seeing old frontal boundary trying to get going on some of the model runs. Some of it's been on the East Coast, some of it's been down here. So if I was to guess any particular area where we could see something, if you watch our little daily brew, thank you, we've been showing lowering pressures down in the Caribbean in about, now it's about 7-8 days. It was 10 days last week. Sometimes it's a sign that maybe we can start getting something going. This is next Tuesday, but it's been inconsistent. Let's look at yesterday's 12Z run. You can see lowering pressures. You know, nothing on yesterday's run. You know, it showed maybe that wave, maybe leftovers from Felipe. I don't know. That's what it takes this time of year, though. You know, here's Felipe. You know, like I was saying earlier, you get an old wave that ends up low pressure wave. Felipe could get weak, head over to Florida maybe, and try to get going. So this is generally what happens. You get an old wave, an old front, or an old energy here. This is the area to watch in October. So that's kind of something maybe, but it's very, very low probability right now. But it is, you know, interesting. Canadian model, Felipe 91, curve. Notice the Canadian next Tuesday, low pressure. This is kind of what I was going at last week. Just, you know, it's not developing anything. Maybe a little bubble here, a little bubble here. This is just, you know, next week, low pressures. Nothing to really get going. Yesterday's 12Z run. There's that little area that popped up off the coast. The GFS was showing it for a while too, but it's not doing it now. So that was probably an outlier, but I did tease it in the Brew Crew. This is yesterday's run, but notice how the difference, like that was yesterday's 12Z, today's 00, nothing. So you got to be careful getting too worked up about one run. Look, the concept's the same though. Low pressure GFS, nothing. And GFS goes out to October 11th. Now, interesting though, next Tuesday, GFS is showing a little bit of low pressure down here, a little bit of low pressure off the coast. So that's kind of the thinking here, that if there were two places to watch Last night, 00Z. There's that little bit of pressure next weekend. Then it goes away. Notice none of these are showing that yellow spot. So yellow spot's nothing to really worry about. So they're pretty confident. You know, looking at next week, I mean, there's that low pressure off the coast next Tuesday. All right, so that's that. Let's look at the icon. Good old icon. Sniffs things out a lot. Here's Felipe fading away. Here's 91, and, you know, nothing really. Next Monday, maybe a little baby bump there. Maybe old Felipe here. I don't know. So it could be something to watch, definitely. You know, if Felipe fizzles out, I don't know why they're pretty confident here on the curve. This is the latest NHC track, but some of the models are having it fizzle out and kind of leftovers kind of head to the Western Atlantic. So we'll keep an eye on that. We always look at ensembles. We love ensembles. We should nickname ensembles like Italian words. Since we have linguini, we have spaghetti models. I don't know any E foods. Eggplant? Is that even a food? I don't even know. All right, so let's zoom in here to the ensembles. Oh, poor me. All right. Let's see. I was trying to zoom in a little closer to Caribbean. I don't think they ever have a really good Caribbean one. All right, we'll just keep it right here. All right, so 5 days from now, this is next end of the week. You can see leftover Felipe and some of the ensembles here into the weekend. And just is nothing. So, I mean, you know, we're getting a little bit of sign. Remember I was saying next Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday next week, maybe something over here trying. But there's really nothing. I mean, most of the Euros curving away from the Caribbean. So, I mean, this if I had to guess the what if scenario, let's say Felipe gets weak and then it kind of comes over here or something, you know, and ends up here. You know, maybe that might be something, but that's very far-fetched right now. The good news is, like, the 15-day ensembles, there's really nothing solid showing. But you get an idea. There's a little thinking there. Let's see, yesterday's 12Z, 12 days out. Yeah, about the same. So there's a little bit more signature here for early next week on the 12Z yesterday. That's usually just an old frontal line that kind of gets going, then it gets gone, so... That's a sneak peek of where to maybe look. It makes sense to me. I like things that make sense. So here's some of these ensembles from the Felipe getting weak and kind of heading. But it's really far-fetched right now. Doesn't take much, though, to get going. All right, let's look at the GFS ensembles. I know the GFS ensembles have been a little bit more aggressive on something pulling up in the Caribbean. Latest one, there's a few. This is October 2nd. This is the first part of next week. So there's been a few GFS ensembles saying maybe something pulls up here next week. I hate to share stuff like this online because the GFS is wrong so much, but we talk about stuff like this on our Daily Brew. So back to that old concept of, you know, energy coming up in that Caribbean first part of next week. You know, there is hints, at least on the GFS and a little bit from the Euro, that we could see something try to get going, possibly, but nothing solid. But enough to mention. You know, I'm not 100% in love with the GFS lately, but it is showing a few members pulling up something. So I'm just throwing that out there. We'll see if anything sticks. That was last night's 0Z. Here's 18Z, 12Z. So there's been a few members. I mean, you know, But this actually timing's a little earlier too. This is like this weekend, so this is October 1st. And it's originating it down here, not that yellow wave that the NAC marked. So the spot that the GFS is picking up on is something here. I don't even believe it's showing it up on the main run, really. Let's look at tropical tidbits again and take a look at some stuff here. Oh, yeah, you can kind of see it. This is what it's picking up on. This is what the GFS is notorious for, Venezuela and low pressure areas. It always picks up something down here. And so here's Wednesday, 2 days from now. It's picking up some sort of a spin. And this is what some of the ensembles are picking up and pulling north. But the euro is not at all. Maybe a little energy, but so yeah, the NACB marketed by now. I think if they thought it was a serious possibility, but it's worth mentioning. Here's that little low that we got right now, Monday. It's pretty interesting to see the little guy. And then it gets, if it does anything, it's going to get pushed off down into Mexico because we have strong upper level winds. Shear right now is incredible out there across the Gulf. Well, yeah, actually not too bad, actually. But the winds are eventually coming down from the north. It's not too bad right now, actually. Huh. Yeah, maybe. A strong high-pressure system right there. So it's there's your upper level high. Would push it down towards Mexico if anything were to happen with that little yellow spot, which is here. It's nothing. It's not an invest or anything. It's just a area of storms off of Florida, leftover frontal line, and you can kind of see a little bit of spin there, but it's a lot of it's upper level. So they're I mean, that's that little spot that they're, this whole general area is what they got marked 10%, but they're not very excited about it doing anything. So. And I'm not seeing any models do anything with it either. You know me and models. I love models. Got to trust the models. And models we trust. Espresso. Got to be Italian, though. Is Espresso Italian? What was the storm tracker? 1972 Dolphins season. I remember the 85 Dolphins were the only ones to beat the Super Bowl Shuffle Crew. Remember that? Chicago Bears, man. Remember that? We are the Super Bowl Shuffle Crew or whatever it was. Joe, MJO. Great question, Joe. Yeah, we actually start looking at the MJO this time of year. Let's see here. Well, it's not bad. Not good either, but it's not bad. Not a lot of sinking there. There's your... as we head into October. So it's pretty neutral. Vertical velocity. Let's see. Man, another component's green. That's your upper level winds. Showing kind of favorable for development. This is first part of October, so that's all the way to the end of the month. So green is usually more of a favorable upper level wind pattern for development. So that's a little more favorable for tropical development. Interesting. 2-week forecast here. I don't think he's updated his in a long time. No, I don't know what happened to Michael Ventris' page here, but he used to have a good... Interesting. All right, so big rains on the horizon for the next week. Tropics seem quiet. There's a little bit of possibility of maybe next week long-range tropics map not showing anything that long range, which is good. But we don't turn our eyes on the Caribbean. Here's your season in a nutshell. This stopped at Cadia, though. They haven't updated it in a while. So we still have a few more names they need to update. This was from the National Hurricane Center. So they'll put Lee on here. And, yeah, we got 2 more weeks, so. All right. That's right, Corey. We had Nicole late last year. Corrine's late to the party. Really wasn't a party. Ryan, yeah, you should get some rain down at Seminole this week. That pattern is pretty juicy. Daily rains. You can see it. The front's going to push down. Not going to really get going until maybe more like Wednesday. But here's 24-hour rain. So today, pretty juicy today. We talked about the storm threat today. But then pretty much steady through the week, actually. Weekend's not so bad, maybe. I don't know. Saturday, it's going to be hit or miss. Sunday, so this is where the big rain on the East Coast really gets going over the weekend. It looks like Sunday. Some of this can linger into Monday, it looks like, too. That's a tough map. But you get the idea. Temperature, let's go Florida again. That's temperature. I want to click on temperature. Rain and snow. All right, so total QPF. This is through Wednesday. Yeah, it's pretty much every day. That's totals. Look at these big totals possibly through Saturday. We could get some big rain here on the East Coast. Let's just go out to next Tuesday. Look at that. 10 inches. 13 inches. Hard to go that many days out, but this is a blend of models, though. This is a lot of models. This is an average. So through the early part of next week, like I said, the East Coast could get a lot of rain coming. I know I saw a statement from National Weather Service in Jacksonville that was talking about this prolonged rain event for a couple days. So if you haven't heard about it, it's coming. It's coming. All right, what else we got to chit-chat about? Don't forget, we're streaming live over on YouTube. Thanks to our good friends at Direct Remodels. They're putting together a special, people love specials with our page. Like we got the Furman. Don't forget, I'm going to show Furman here in a minute because we got Christmas time coming up. Furman gives 30% off plus free shipping to all of our MWP fans. It's an amazing deal, but Direct Remodels is going to do the same for Windows. A lot of folks have asked me over the years about impact windows and hurricane and storm protection. So what better than have a big fan of our page located right here in Florida to support our people with a good discount. So yeah, I'd look for that soon. And of course we're streaming on X. Love X. One day we'll get our little box back. Kind of miss that box. Storms in October, exactly what we just talked about. So this is the area to watch. This is the history of tracks. So luckily with El Nino, we're supposed to have a lot of wind shear. Wind shear hopefully will prevent things from happening, but no guarantees with that water being so hot. The water temperatures are amazingly hot, actually. I mean, this is an anomaly map. I thought it was still interesting that, we talked so much about the upwelling over here in the Atlantic. This is where Lee was and Franklin, but this water temperature here over the Gulf still several degrees above normal. So everything in the Gulf still 2 to 3 to 4 degrees above normal on average. The Caribbean's 2 to 3 degrees above normal. It's normal to be hot in September. This is just hotter than normal. So this is why we've seen it already this year. Warmer waters really can get things going. That's what we saw with Lee way over here, and so this is where we got to really, 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 really watch this year. I have a feeling because of these waters being warm, and especially anything that sneaks over here. Any system like we're seeing some of the models are showing. Felipe getting weak, and maybe that energy's going to try to get going here early part of next week. Very, very, it's very possible. I'm really curious here watching the latest Euro. The Euro's showing that whole idea that leftover Felipe makes its way over here, maybe as a wave. I don't know if it's Felipe. Well, you technically could say it's a little bit of both, but this is next Wednesday. Hard to say if it's all Felipe or not. Let's see. It could be an old frontal line too. I don't know. Let's see here. Let's do 700. Nah, it's more of a front. Well, the energy, it could be a little bit of both, but it's more like an old front. That's only one run, though. 12Z didn't do that, I don't think. It kind of did, actually. Kind of showed a sloppy setup here. It could be old energy from Felipe. It's hard to tell. But interesting. I mean, that's, this is the Euro for next Wednesday. Definitely a trend to watch. I'm not going to post anything about it yet. Not really seeing it with anybody else. Kind of seeing a little bit here with the Canadian, actually. Look at that. So there is a little support on the Canadian next Tuesday. Weak low pressure, probably from the frontal line. So yeah. Hey. It's what we do. All right, who's going to watch the Bucks tonight? I love a 7 o'clock game. Cindy, that's not a hurricane. Not yet. Mary Carroll, good morning. How you doing? Shelly sharing our links. We appreciate it. I don't show off the merch stuff. By the way, the same company, Gaff That Moment. Look at that. They also sent me a tumbler. Check this out. This is awesome. That was so cool of them. So I really appreciate that. I got so many cool tumblers over the years. I save them. They're very nice. So I'll thank you for that. I just got to find a spot. I need a bigger desk. All right, anything else? Oh, I know, Brian. I don't think Diaz was hurt. They pulled him out, didn't they? Yeah, heck yeah. We got Christmas time coming. You can get a shirt. Actually, we got more than just shirts. I mean, this Teespring has a lot of cool stuff, honestly. Like, they have bags, stickers, pint glasses, Tempest. We got a 10% discount for our weather station here. A lot of people love this Tempest. I love my Tempest. I can't stop staring at it. I even have one mounted in my truck. We have a Tempest weather station in the Storm Chaser. But there you go. They got a 10%. Plus, sometimes they run promos that you get on top of that. So, if you got anybody that needs an awesome weather station, that's the best one on the planet by far. And it's endorsed by all of our MWPs, right? What's the weather for the game tonight, Tammy? Where are they playing at? I don't even know. A lot of rain coming to Jacksonville. Tom loves his Tempest. I'm bringing long sleeves today. Yep, it's going to be in the 50s and 60s. Ryan's 100% correct. El Nino in Florida means bad storms, unfortunately. Historically, Florida gets a lot of severe weather during El Nino winters and a lot of flooding during El Nino winters. Historically. So, all right. Well, we'll be live tomorrow, everybody. Appreciate you tuning in. We're going to be gone for a few days. But we got, luckily, I think we got somebody staying over to hang out with the guinea pig. I don't think we're bringing the guinea pig with us. So, we'll see. Well, if you're going to Talladega, I hope to see you over there. We're gonna have a great time. We're gonna be promoting our car for February, the Furman Hurricane Awareness Machine. Hopefully, Tammy's back on board, maybe, and Frank from Coastal Claims. We had a lot of positive press last year with our first year running at Daytona with the Hurricane car. So we're looking forward to it again. Bones is still in the attic, Lorena. I got to get him out. A big job next week coming home and putting up Halloween. I just can't put Halloween out until it's October. I just don't feel right. I don't know. I just don't feel right. So, Amanda, yep, I'm bringing the Starlink. If we got to go live, we'll do it. But unless there's anything too serious to worry about, I'll be keeping my eye on this potential, close to homegrown action for next week. So far, nothing's showing up too solid to worry about, which is good. Oh, doctor tomorrow for you, Renee. Well, good luck with that. So Phil came across Interstate 10 yesterday to go to the softball tournament, and he was telling me how bad the interstate was with trees and debris and cleanup still going on. It's just amazing to think about how much debris removal they have to do after a hurricane like Idalia. Brian, great question, buddy. Nope, that's a different spot. The low pressure is an old front. It looks like maybe some energy from Felipe. I don't know. But definitely it's showing up in the Canadian too. So there's signs we could have leftover frontal line try to get going maybe next week. Yes. Not a lot of ensemble support, but it's enough to keep watching. That's the time to look this time of year. I'm really curious, the 12Z models. What's going on with that? Anything else? Show low the mic. Like the video. That's right, Tronzy Bit. We're growing. We got a slow growth on YouTube. I've tried hard. Not like TikTok, though. Man, it just went incredibly crazy on TikTok. I don't know why, but it's big. I'm going to do a little one here in a minute. I got to do a morning update over there, too. So, that's about it. All right, y'all. Have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow. Go Bucks tonight. I guess we're playing the Eagles. Pretty tough game. We'll see if the Bucks are for real or not. They won 2, right? We'll see how they stack up against a strong Eagles tonight. All right. So here we go. We'll see you tomorrow. All right. Bye-bye.